Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech, and yesterday Apple released watchOS 11.6 to the public. watchOS 11.6 is available around the world at the same time for everyone on all watchOS 11 supported devices. Now this particular update, depending on your device, varies greatly. For example, on this one, which is the Apple Watch Series 10. We actually came in at 504 megabytes. However, on the Apple Watch Ultra 2 that I have here, it was over 3 gigabytes as I was on an older version. So just keep in mind the overall size will vary depending on which version you're installing from. Along with this, Apple also released many other updates: iOS 18.6, iPadOS 18.6, updates for macOS, tvOS, HomePodOS, visionOS, older iPads, as well as older Macs as well. And also one thing I wanted to mention is if you're on iOS 26, you can use watchOS 11.6, but once you update to watchOS 26 betas, you will not be able to use it if you downgrade to iOS 18.6. So iOS 18 is not compatible with watchOS 26. However, it does work the other way around, so you can use watchOS 11.6 with iOS 26 betas. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the build number and talk about what's new. So we'll go into our settings here, then we'll go down to General, and then About. And as you can see, the build number is 22U84. This lets you know that you're on the latest version. Just having that build number, since we're not on the betas anymore, that lets you know. If you no longer want to receive betas, just make sure you turn that off in your software update settings on your Watch app on your iPhone. Now, as far as new releases, well, this is more of a bug fix and security release update. You can see that here, where it actually says this update provides bug fixes and important security updates for your Apple Watch. Unfortunately, Apple does not tell us specifically what they've fixed with bugs. So that's something I really wish they would update their documentation on, but they haven't really told us anything when it comes to that. The same is true with their release notes. If we go to Apple's release note website, you'll see if we scroll down here to watchOS 11.6, go to View Release Notes, it actually says there are no new release notes for this software update. Why, again, they're not telling us what the bug fixes are, I'm not sure. It would be super helpful to know so that we could provide feedback and let them know if there's additional issues. However, they did provide some notes about security updates, and this is probably the most important thing. On Apple's security release website, if we scroll down, you can see the latest updates here. Actually, let me refresh the website so it shows the latest, and you can see those here. So we'll scroll down and you can see watchOS 11.6. On watchOS 11.6, you can see all of the different security updates that they've included. So you can see here Core Audio, Core Media, ICU, Image I/O, and quite a few others. So as we scroll down through those, you'll see WebKit, which is the underlying code for things such as Safari. And as we continue down, you'll see additional recognition for those that found the issues. So you'll see here, if I scroll up for Image I/O, for example, it says the impact was processing a maliciously crafted image may result in disclosure of process memory. To fix this, an out-of-bounds read was addressed with improved input validation. So that's something they've updated, and that's a reason you should actually install watchOS 11.6. So if you were wondering if you should install watchOS 11.6, just for the security updates alone, I definitely would. Of course, there's additional bug fixes as well. Again, we don't know specifically what they are. However, I've been hearing good things so far throughout the beta and the overall experience. When it comes to performance on this device, it seems to be what you would expect. Go into weather, loads quickly. If we go into something else, let's go into music. I haven't loaded that. You'll see it pops right up. We'll go into maybe another. We'll go into the noise here with the decibel reading. And again, it's very fast. So really no issues here. Very fast overall. Battery life for me has been pretty good. You'll see this one's currently at 52%, but in general, after leaving it all night long, this one in particular was just sitting there. I'm waiting to install it. You'll see it's at 99% waiting to update. So I don't have a real good feel as far as the overall battery life. However, someone did send this to my Telegram channel. And again, this was sent over by a viewer on my Telegram channel where people just discuss the overall updates. And you'll see this was actually updated to the RC, which is the same version as the public release. And it was last charged to 100% yesterday at 7:02 a.m. Given that battery is only down to 72% after about a day and a half or so at this point, I think this is pretty good overall, at least for standby mode. But in general, I think it's doing well. It was doing fine for me on my main watch, and for the most part, it should. Now, if you're a heavy user, it may be impacted, but keep in mind, battery life can vary, and be sure to check your battery health as well, as that can affect it. So as you've had the watch for a year or however long you've had it, if we go down to battery, we can take a look at that on this one. So we'll go to battery. And then we'll go down to battery health. And as we scroll down, we're at 100%. Now, this is my Apple Watch Ultra 2, the original Apple Watch Ultra 2. I have the black titanium one as well. And if we take a look at this, while this one's still updating currently, if we go to battery, last time I checked this was also at 100% as far as battery health, but it may be down a little bit now, but still at 100% well after a year at this point. So watches seem to hold up a little bit better than the iPhones as far as battery health goes. Now, there's a couple other things I wanted to mention that Apple released as well. One of those has to do with AirPods. If you're running iOS 26, public beta or beta 4, you can actually update AirPods to a new beta release. Apple released it alongside with iOS 18.6, so there's a new beta for that, and you'll just connect them and basically allow them to update with the case being over 50%. But it's only for AirPods Pro 2 with both Lightning and USB-C, as well as AirPods 4 and AirPods 4 with active noise cancellation. It's not available for any other AirPods currently as far as a beta goes, but there are new features to try out. There was also 2 more announcements, one on the Apple newsroom here that says Leagues Cups returns to MLS Season Pass on Apple TV on July 29th, and also Apple Manufacturing Academy opens in Detroit on August 19th. So I'll link these in the description if you wanted to check it out, but these are things that are coming up very soon, and definitely if you're in that area, check it out, as well as if you're into soccer or football, depending on where you live, be sure to check this out as well on the TV app. Now, other than that, there's not a whole lot more new in this particular update. We may see a new update for watchOS 11.7. However, we don't really know if they would include anything other than bug fixes or security updates, since Apple is working on watchOS 26. I would expect watchOS 26 Beta 5 and maybe the public Beta 2 sometime next week. Based on what we've had in the past, that seems pretty likely, along with iOS 26 Beta 5 and Public Beta 2. So at this point, we could see an iOS maybe 18.7 beta and watchOS 11.7 beta, but I wouldn't expect any major changes as all of those changes are moving over to watchOS 26 and iOS 26. Finally, I wanted to share the watch face I'm using since many people ask in every video, and this is one I've used for a long time. I have it on both watches here. You can see this, and they both look pretty good overall. So if we go into it, press and hold, you'll see I'm using the modular watch face. If I go to edit here and slide over, I'm using the Arabic Western numerals and then also multicolor, as I like this to be a little bit more colorful. It's easier to see. And then as far as complications, we have the weather in the upper left, the date in the upper right, we have music in the bottom right, compass in the middle, and then activity in the bottom left. In the middle, we have Lumi, and Lumi is an app that allows you to change it to countdown to sunrise, countdown to golden hour, one of the best times to take photos and video. You'll see moonrises and more. So if you like this complication, be sure to check it out. I've been using it for a very long time, and I think it looks great. So I usually come back to this as it just gives me all the information I want. And so that's pretty much everything with watchOS 11.6. Not a huge update, but definitely important as far as security updates go, and hopefully there's some significant bug fixes in it. Of course, I'll link that wallpaper in the description like I normally do, and if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe, and if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.